I often remind my students that good diction encompasses more than merely using the correct sounds of a language. Rhythm, or phrasing, is another essential factor in this equation. Having a strong sense of pacing in conversational Italian can significantly enhance singing, making it sound more natural and idiomatic. While recitativo secco is the most apparent application of rhythm in Italian opera, proper phrasing can improve the flow of language in any music with a set rhythm. Italian opera incorporates many styles, including recitativo, which can be either secco or accompagnato. To comprehend the difference between recitativo and an aria, we must consider the opera's timeline. In recitativo, we typically witness the plot's development and the timeline progresses, while in an aria, we witness the character's reaction to this new development and the timeline remains static. Acting takes center stage in recitativo, and the description of the action is critical to understanding the complex plot. As a result, the recitativo must be clear and meaningful. Recitativo secco is accompanied only by chords, used to indicate harmony, and the rhythm of the lines is typically written with even 8th or 16th notes. However, as we know, no language sounds like this. Mi par che stamattina volentieri farei la pazzarella a un certo fuoco, un certo pizzico dentro le vene.
Mi par che stamattina volentieri farei la pazzarella a un certo fuoco, un certo pizzico dentro le vene.
This means we need to disengage completely from the rhythm we see on the page and use the score just as a guideline for pitches. The rhythm we'll have to use is the rhythm of conversational Italian. What is the key element that defines the rhythm of conversational Italian? It's a combination of stressed vowels and double consonants, which I refer to as anchor points. These specific parts of the sentence serve as a foundation for pacing and phrasing while speaking or singing in Italian. By recognizing and utilizing these anchor points, you can achieve a smoother and natural rhythm for the language, resulting in a more authentic and engaging performance. Let's briefly review a few rules. How do I know which syllable is stressed in a word? The only time the stress is marked in the spelling is when it is placed on the last syllable, which will be accented, as in farò. In any other cases, the easiest way to find the placement of the stress in a word, if you are not fluent in Italian, is by looking it up in a dictionary. What is considered a double consonant? Two consonants of the same kind, as in mamma, tutto, or palla. GN, GL, or sh within a word, as in sogno, figli, poscia. Also M, N, L, R before another consonant, as in bambino, canto, salto, and corto. This last concept applies also to combinations of consonants that belong to different words, as in con te and il mare. Just remember that in conversational Italian and consequently in recitativo secco, the vowel before a double consonant is short and aggressive. If a singer has trouble figuring out how to lock onto the anchor points, the easiest way to work with it is by assigning 8 notes to the anchor points and 16th notes to anything else. Here are a few examples. In the word amore, the anchor point is the stressed vowel O and sounds like amore. In the word congedare, the anchor points are the double N and the stressed vowel A. Congedare. The next example is very important to remember. In the word mamma, the stressed A and the double M share the same stressed syllable. The problem is that stressed vowels are supposed to be elongated, while the vowels before single consonants have to be shortened, which is a contradiction. In this case, the double consonant takes over and the anchor point will be the double M. Mamma. Now we can start making the rhythm more organic and mark the anchor points on a stressed syllable by elongating them even more. Congedare will become congedare. In case of multiple anchor points in the same word, all lying on double consonants, you can mark the stress by elongating the double consonant. In the word incanto, we have two anchor points, one on the N before the C and one on the N before the T. The second one also belongs to the stressed syllable. The best way to pronounce this word will be incanto, with short vowels and with the stressed N longer than the first N. In order to find the correct rhythm of a line, a singer always has to locate the anchor points first. Let's look at the Spina's entrance in Mozart's Così fan tutte. She says, "Che vita maledetta il far la cameriera." Let's analyze the line word by word. Che is a strong monosyllable and causes the doubling of the V, which will be the first anchor point. Che v. The stressed vowel in vita is the I, which will be the second anchor point. Che vita. The word maledetta has a stressed E and a double T in the same syllable. The double T takes over and becomes the next anchor point. Che vita maledetta. E is a strong and stressed monosyllable, hence an anchor point. Che vita maledetta è. The L in il is doubled because it is placed before another consonant. Che vita maledetta è il. The R in far is before another consonant, hence rolled and an anchor point. Che vita maledetta è il far. La is a weak and unstressed monosyllable, and the stress in the word cameriera is the open E, which is also the last anchor point. Che vita maledetta è il far la cameriera. Apply eighth notes to the syllables with anchor points and 16th notes to the syllables without the anchor points, and you will obtain the flow of this line. The rhythm of this line will be Che vita maledetta è il far la cameriera. Now that we have a sense of it, let's try to speak this line without thinking of 8th and 16th notes and only focus on leaning on the anchor points. Che vita maledetta è il far la cameriera. I like to think of the anchor points as stepping stones we use to cross a river. We must jump from one stone to the next, avoiding any obstacle in between or risk getting wet. We can stand on a stone for as long as we need, focusing on the next one before jumping without tripping over anything in between. Although this may seem like a challenging and exhausting process, with practice, I assure you that it will become more manageable. It will enable you to deliver an incredibly expressive and idiomatic Italian performance, making singing recitativo an enjoyable experience. It's crucial to recognize that the flow of language is more complex than this method suggests. This approach can provide a sense of phrasing, while the true rhythm is more organic.
Ma vedi il mio destino, quel soldato per quanto ebbe cercato, niuno conosce in tutto il reggimento. Io dubito. Cospetto. E dubitar? Scommetto che dal conte Armavino è stato qui spedito quel signore ad esplorar della rosina il core. Nemmeno in casa propria sicuri si può star, ma io ti batte. Ehi, chi dirà? Battono, non sentite, in casa sol, non metti vore, aprite.
The language's flow is constructed upon the foundation of the rhythm provided by the anchor points, but is brought to life by the emotions conveyed, which dictate the appropriate pace, dynamics, and colors. Now, here are a few tricks you can use to find the stress of a word quickly. In the syllables, which are words made by two syllables, the stress can be on the first or on the second syllable. Since we know that the last stressed syllable will be marked with an accent, we already know that if we don't see the accent, automatically the stress will be on the other syllable. The word farò has clearly a stress on the second syllable, while the word faro, since there is no accent on the last syllable, will have a stress on the first one. We can also find clues in the music. In well-written recits, the major stresses are usually on the strong rhythm, the 1 and the 3 in a 4/4 time signature. They can also be on a downbeat, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and never on an upbeat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In other cases, the stresses are on the longer pitch or the combination of rhythms that will sum up to the longer rhythm of the word. Thank you and arrivederci.
Please don't forget to subscribe to receive updates about new videos.